Welcome back to American Society. Thanks for staying with us. A new piece in the Wall Street Journal examined the relationship between Catholicism and the MAGA wing of the Republican Party. I want to bring in one of its authors. I'm glad he's here. Wall Street Journal reporter and editor Aaron Zitner. Aaron, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you.
You're familiar with this, but my audience isn't, so I want to read it to you. Under the headline in your piece, which talks about a resurgence in the MAGA era of conservative Catholicism, because we were just talking to Cardinal Cupich from Chicago about this process of choosing the next pope. Quote, "Whoever occupies the papal seat after Francis will be shepherding an American flock that is increasingly enamored of practices from an ancient, unreformed Catholicism. The most striking may be the traditional Latin Mass, codified in the late 1500s and practiced into the 1960s, and which Francis has discouraged." What's going on in American Catholicism?
Well, it's interesting. Wherever you see vitality or growth on the American religious landscape, you want to pay attention to it, because overall, over the decades, there's been disaffiliation from churches and houses of worship. It might have stabilized, but there aren't a lot of places where there's vitality and growth. And in this conservative strain of Catholicism, it does seem like there is growth. It's hard to get hard numbers. There are maybe 17,000 parishes in this country, give or take. And the number that are traditionally practicing, regularly, the traditional Latin Mass is in the hundreds, maybe the high hundreds. So keeping it in perspective. But it does seem like this is where there's growth. Where there's influencers, there's social media presence, and there's vitality.
And J.D. Vance, the sitting vice president, is kind of an exemplar of this, is he not?
That's right, and this has a presence in the White House and in American government policy right now.
And also from the article, and I mentioned this to Cardinal Cupich a moment ago, in 2023, Pope Francis complained of a very strong, organized, reactionary attitude against him in the U.S. church, adding, "I would like to remind these people that backwardness is useless." How do you think the death of Pope Francis will influence this vitality on the conservative Catholicism side and maybe the part of Catholicism in America that is either sympathetic to or was enamored of Pope Francis?
Well, my guess is that this conservative strain of Catholicism will continue to grow. We might ask, why is this happening? Well, part of it is spiritual and aesthetic. To listen to the traditional Latin Mass is to be connected to something that goes back to the Council of Trent. Over the centuries, the majesty of the church, the incense, the organ, the Latin language itself. And some of it is community. I think that people are finding community here. We hear anecdotally that a lot of people who attend traditional Latin Mass are part of large families, many children, like the old Catholic families. And the last is, I think, political, to the degree that politics is now everywhere and it's higher in the hierarchy of our identity. If you believe that Francis has moved the church too much to the left, and that by being more inclusive on, say, accepting divorcees, accepting gay marriage to the extent that he has, I don't want to go too far.
Very limited, yes.
That these are among the things that have hurt the American family and hurt American community, you might respond by going to the Mass that existed before Francis, the Mass that connects to the majesty of the church over centuries, the more conservative, the more rigid and hierarchical Mass. And I don't see why that is going to fade with the movement from Francis to the next pope.
And yet it wasn't that long ago that Benedict, the Pope, was conservative and was a kind of reaction to Pope John Paul II and those who succeeded thereafter.
That's right, yeah.
So the Catholic Church has been sort of sturdy and on the conservative side of things in American religion, not as conservative as evangelical American Christianity, but still very traditional and sort of hidebound. So even that, in that sense, Francis is unique, but it's not as if he ran around the world with a tambourine and the like.
Major, let me give you just one number. Catholic University here in Washington did a study, fascinating, 3,500 priests, and they found an amazing generational change among priests. Among those who've been ordained since 2020, the most recently ordained, more than 80% call themselves conservative, theologically conservative, and in politics lean conservative. They found 0 priests in their study ordained since 2020 who were very progressive.
That is a great fact and a great ender. Aaron Zitner, thank you very much for coming in.